I just watched my son lie to the police about me. Through the window of the house I paid for, I saw him nod along as his wife told the officer I've been harassing them. Harassing. That's what they're calling a mother who just wants to see her own child. The officer is walking toward me now, and my hands are shaking so bad I can barely hold my purse. $70,000. That's what I gave them for the down payment on this house 3 years ago. It was half of everything I had left after my husband died. And now I'm being escorted off the property like some kind of criminal while my daughter-in-law watches from behind the curtains with her arms crossed, probably feeling real proud of herself. You want to know the worst part? I can see my son's face in that window, and he won't even look at me. Won't even look at his own mother as a police officer asks me to leave. This is Michael, the boy I carried for 9 months. The baby I nursed through pneumonia when he was 4 stayed up 72 hours straight because I was so scared of losing him. The young man who sobbed in my arms when his daddy died promised me we'd always have each other. And now he's standing there letting this happen like I'm nobody, like I never mattered at all. My name is Margaret Ellen Peterson, and I need you to hear this story because what happened to me is happening to mothers all over this country, and nobody's talking about it. We're being erased from our children's lives, and we're supposed to smile and accept it because we don't want to be that mother-in-law. Well, I'm done being quiet. I'm done pretending this is normal. And if you've ever felt that cold distance growing between you and your child after they got married, you need to hear what I learned too late. 3 years ago, my son Michael came to me with tears in his eyes and hope in his voice. He was 31, finally ready to settle down with Jennifer, this polished girl from Minneapolis he'd met at his accounting firm. They'd been married about 18 months, living in a cramped apartment, and they wanted to buy a house, start a family, build a future. "Mom," he said, sitting at my kitchen table where I'd fed him thousands of meals, "we found the perfect place, but we're $70,000 short for the down payment." $70,000. I remember exactly what that number felt like when he said it. It sat between us like a stone. That was nearly half of everything I had saved. Everything my husband Tom and I had built over 40 years of marriage, everything I had left to survive on after Tom's heart attack, took him from me 11 years ago. My security, my safety net, my future. But when I looked at my son's face, I saw that little boy who used to crawl into my lap during thunderstorms, who'd bring me dandelions like they were roses, who'd tell me I was the best mama in the whole world. "I'll write you a check tomorrow," I said. And the way his face lit up, the way he grabbed my hands and cried and promised he'd never forget this, swore he'd pay me back, told me I was giving him and Jennifer the chance at happiness they'd been dreaming of. In that moment, I would have given him twice that amount. I would have given him everything, because that's what a mother does, isn't it? We give everything, expecting nothing back except to stay part of their lives, to matter, to belong. I should have seen the warning signs during the house hunting process. Jennifer wanted me to see the place before they made an offer. "Since you're contributing so much, Margaret," that's what she called it. Contributing, like I was some kind of investor instead of his mother. We drove out to this new development on the edge of Cedar Rapids, and I'll admit, the house was beautiful. 4 bedrooms, big yard, modern kitchen with granite countertops that sparkled in the sunlight. Jennifer walked through talking about her vision for each room, and every single time I made a suggestion, she'd smile this tight little smile and say, "We'll see." But Michael was so excited, bouncing around like he was 10 years old again, and that's what mattered to me. My boy was happy. That's all I wanted. I transferred the money the next week, watching my bank account drop by $70,000 in a single transaction. I remember sitting in the bank parking lot afterward, gripping the steering wheel, wondering if Tom would think I'd done the right thing. "He's our son," I whispered to the empty car, to my husband's memory. "He needs us." The house closed 6 weeks later, and Jennifer sent me a thank you card. Cream-colored paper, elegant script. "Margaret, we're so grateful for your generosity. This means the world to us." That first month, I was at their house almost every weekend, helping them unpack boxes, hanging curtains, organizing the kitchen cabinets. I planted roses in the front flower beds, big pink ones, the kind Tom used to bring me on our anniversary. Jennifer would watch me work with this expression I couldn't quite read, arms folded, nodding when I'd ask if something looked okay. "It's fine, Margaret. You don't have to do all this." But I wanted to. I wanted this house to feel like home for them. Wanted to be part of building that home. Wanted to matter in this new chapter of their lives. The shift started so gradually I almost missed it. First, Jennifer rearranged everything I'd organized in the kitchen. Then she dug up half the roses I'd planted and replaced them with ornamental grasses. "More modern," she explained when I asked about it. The Sunday dinners we'd been having weekly became every other week, then monthly. Then, "We'll let you know when we're free, Mom." I'd call Michael at work, and he'd sound rushed, distracted. "Can I call you back later, Mom? I'm in the middle of something." Later never came. When I'd drop by with food, Michael's favorite apple pie or my pot roast he'd always loved, Jennifer would meet me at the door before I could even step inside. "Oh, Margaret, you shouldn't have gone to all this trouble," she'd say, taking the dish from my hands but blocking the doorway with her body. "We're actually trying to watch what we eat now, getting healthier." I'd see Michael's car in the driveway, hear the TV playing inside, but somehow they were always too busy for me to come in. Always too busy for coffee. Always too busy for a visit. Just too busy. That word became a wall between us, brick by brick, until I couldn't reach my son anymore. Then came the day that broke something inside me. I'd driven over on a Saturday morning with fresh strawberries from the farmer's market. I'd been calling Michael's cell phone all week, leaving messages that went unanswered. Both their cars were in the driveway. I could hear music playing inside, could see movement through the windows. I knocked on that blue front door, the one I'd helped them paint, and Jennifer answered. She didn't open the door all the way. She stood in the gap, one hand on the frame like she was guarding a fortress, and looked at me with something close to annoyance. "Margaret, we didn't know you were coming." The way she said my name, like it tasted bad in her mouth. I held up the strawberries, trying to smile, trying to ignore the sick feeling spreading through my stomach. "I brought these for you both. Thought maybe we could have coffee, catch up." She glanced behind her, then back at me, and I swear I saw calculation in her eyes. "This really isn't a good time. We're in the middle of something. You really need to start calling first." And then she closed the door. Didn't slam it. That would have been honest, at least. She just gently, firmly shut it. And I stood there on that porch, the porch my money had bought, holding strawberries nobody wanted, feeling like a beggar at my own son's door. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, crying so hard I couldn't see to drive. That's when I knew. This wasn't about being busy. This wasn't about giving them space. This was about erasing me. About Jennifer building a life with my son that had no room for his mother in it. And he was letting her. My Michael, who used to call me every day just to talk, who used to show up at my house with flowers for no reason, who used to tell me I was his best friend. He was letting this happen. The holidays were when it became undeniable. Thanksgiving came, and for the first time in 52 years, I wasn't hosting. My daughter Sarah called me, confused. "Mom, Michael says they're doing Thanksgiving at their place, but he said it's just going to be them and Jennifer's parents. That can't be right, can it?" I lied to her, told her I wasn't feeling well, that I'd encouraged them to keep it small. I couldn't admit the truth. that my son was having Thanksgiving dinner in a house I'd helped buy and I wasn't invited. Christmas was worse. I got a text from Michael on Christmas Eve. "Won't be able to make it tomorrow, Mom. Jennifer's family is in town. We'll catch up soon." I spent Christmas morning alone in the house where I'd raised him, staring at his baby pictures on the mantle, trying to understand what I'd done wrong. Where had I failed? What had I said or done that made him willing to cut me out of his life so completely? I called him that afternoon, and when he finally answered, I could hear laughter and music in the background. Jennifer's family, having the Christmas that should have included me. "Mom, I can't really talk right now," he said, his voice low like he didn't want them to hear. "Can I call you later?" He never did. 6 months ago, I decided I was done being polite, done accepting being pushed out. I drove to that house at dinner time, unannounced, determined to have an honest conversation with my son, to ask him why, to make him see what this was doing to me. Michael answered the door, and the look on his face when he saw me, it wasn't love or warmth or even guilt. It was fear and anger. "Mom, what are you doing here?" I could hear Jennifer inside. "Who is it, honey?" He stepped onto the porch, pulling the door closed behind him. And in that moment, I understood. I wasn't welcome inside. I was being handled, managed, kept outside where I couldn't upset his wife. "Michael, I need to talk to you," I said, and my voice cracked. "I need to understand what's happening, why you've shut me out. I gave you everything I had for this house, and now I can't even..." His face hardened. "That money was a gift, Mom. You said it yourself. It was my inheritance. You can't hold it over our heads now." Hold it over their heads? I wasn't trying to hold anything. I just wanted my son back. I wanted to matter. "Jennifer says you make her uncomfortable," he continued, and each word felt like a knife. "She says you're always criticizing, always trying to control how she runs her house, always just showing up. We need boundaries, Mom." Boundaries. That's what they call it when they erase you, when they take your money and your love and your history together, and they lock you out like you're nothing. I stood on that porch, looking at the son I'd given birth to, the man I'd sacrificed everything for, and he was choosing her, completely, absolutely, without reservation. "If I made her uncomfortable, I'm sorry," I whispered. "But shutting me out entirely, not even letting me visit, that's the solution?" He looked back at the door, at his wife waiting inside. "I have to go, Mom. I'll call you." He didn't. That was 6 months ago. Since then, I've sent birthday cards that go unacknowledged. I've left voicemails that are never returned. I've driven past that house with the blue door and the roses, the ones Jennifer didn't dig up, blooming pink and beautiful. And I've cried until I couldn't see the road. My other children have tried to intervene, but Michael tells them I'm exaggerating, that I'm being dramatic, that nothing's wrong. And maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am that overbearing mother-in-law everyone warns their kids about. But I don't think so. I think I'm just a woman who gave everything she had to help her son, and learned too late that money can't buy you a place in someone's heart. That loving someone with everything you have doesn't mean they'll love you back the same way. And that sometimes, the people who promise they'll never forget you are the first ones to walk away. But I'm still his mother, and that door might be closed to me now, but if he ever needs me, really needs me, I'll be right here, waiting, hoping, and keeping those roses alive.